Well, thank you so much for coming to the masterclass tonight on getting unstuck, learning how to live life with whatever ails you. This is a heart, mind, body, spirit connection, and it's our kickoff for the Purpose Driven Recovery Academy, LLC, and I'm just really thrilled to have you guys be a part of this. So the first thing we need to figure out if we're going to get unstuck from anything is what is the problem? Figuring out the problem. And what's the problem? Well, the online dictionary said it is a matter or situation regarded as unwelcome or harmful and needing to be dealt with and overcome. I love that definition of a problem. So we've got to identify it. And sometimes I find that it's hard to identify what the problem actually is. Hence, I have coaches and therapists myself to try to figure out sometimes what my problem is. But it could be an addiction, drugs, alcohol, food, shopping. Some people don't think social media is an addiction, but trust me, codependency is a problem for a lot of us who have gotten caught up in bending over backwards for people. Mental illness is massively common. Most of us have mental illness. Well, I think we all do at one point in time or another. Motivation, where is it? Where does it go? That could be the problem. Finding and doing your purpose, finding a spiritual connections, making excuses, which probably goes along with motivation, self-acceptance and negativity. These were the ones that came to my mind because these are the things that I've struggled with. So of course, those were mine, but I'm sure you have some as well that are probably different than what mine are. This is what I think that really blesses me. Whatever is ailing you does not define you. Seek progress and serenity, not perfection. So often we are just so down on ourselves that we don't feel we can be good enough. So my prayer is, God, help me to see me as you see me. I am good enough because you said, I am fearfully and wonderfully made in Psalm 139:14. And you'll notice that I use the Bible for my strength and encouragement. I know there's other people that will be watching this that do not embrace Christianity. You know what? That is fine. I am not here to judge. We all come from different vantage points. I believed when I was growing up, but I had not received the benefits of being a Christian. And now there is such a negative backlash, I think, of people who are out there being hateful and cruel and many other things that are calling themselves Christians and kind of using Jesus as a weapon. And that is not who I am, just saying. That is not who I am. So take what I share and leave the rest. Why am I doing that? Why did I call it a masterclass? I looked at masterclass. What is a master? Well, a masterclass is somebody who has got a ton of expertise in the topic that they're talking about and goes into depth on the issue. Well, I don't put this up there here to brag about all of my accomplishments, but just so there's some credibility there. God has definitely used my gifts and has made the things I'm teaching you tonight a reality in my life and in the lives of countless other people. All of you who are here and are watching this are here because somewhere along the line we crossed paths and you chose to gain some experience from me and pick my brain or whatever you need to do. But it's been a blessing to be on all of the major networks, to be in numerous bookstores across the nation with the books that I've written, and to get awards like the Red Cross Real Heroes of the Year and the Athena Award. Those are just a couple of the things, and I'm blessed. but you are just as important. This does not make me any better than anybody else. Just saying. So what I want to teach you today is these topics. I want to teach you 4 places you need to focus your attention, 5 keys to finding your purpose and the power to live it. I want to give you 3 tips to lifelong daily transformation. And I want to give you 8 steps to learning to live with whatever ails you. So I'm going to try and stay really focused here on this. And I'm hoping that this works for you. So the heart, mind, body, spirit connection. The heart is, I again look these up on the internet, and this is what I see. The heart is one's most one's most innermost character, feelings, or inclinations, the essential or most vital part of something. It's really kind of who we are. It's our reflection that people see. He's got a good heart. That's what they mean. Have good character. The mind is the element or complex elements in an individual that feels, perceives, thinks, wills, and especially reasons. Now, the mind is different than the brain. The brain is kind of the computer, and the mind is the software, so to speak. I like that analogy, but we'll talk more about that later. Then we got the body, the material part or nature of a human being. We know what the body is, and we know what the spirit is. It's a supernatural being or essence, the activating or essential principle influencing a person. I meet a lot of people that don't believe in God. They don't believe in a lot of things, which is fine. But I think the supernatural being, we've all experienced that when, oh, I get goosebumps. Oh, that gave me the chills. That I think is something going on there that is beyond ourselves, that gives us a feeling. So here's what I use for my definition and why I like what the Bible has to say. If you ask, speak to me, God, I'm listening, you're going to hear some of these things, but this is what the Bible says, just plain out. I just grabbed a few of the scriptures that for me spoke to what I believe to be true. The heart, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. So if we don't guard this, and everything, people are coming at us and we are letting people break our hearts, so to speak, we're going to be damaged. And that kind of goes into that codependency thing. So it all weaves together. That's Proverbs 4:23. Our mind and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, the peace, which is what we're looking for, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:7. Now the body, this one really helps me. 1 Corinthians 6:19. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of that Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? This is kind of a big deal to me because I take it seriously. And I think even people who don't necessarily aren't Christians, they believe that there is a spirit within, whether it's the universe or whatever, that it lives inside of us. And I believe that too, that the Holy Spirit is here. The scriptures go on to say, so glorify God in your body. Spirit. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. That is what we are looking for, to get unstuck and to be free from whatever is binding us. So that's from 2 Corinthians 3:17. Okay. So what a blessing those things are. So once we get and see the mind, body, spirit, soul thing and how that all works together, then we have to go back to what really matters. And what really matters is that we are everything starts with purpose. Because for me, at least I believe that, oh, going the wrong way, if we are not understanding our purpose, we're not going to be happy people. That's just what I believe. Everything starts there. I think we've all asked this question, why am I here? Sometimes we stumble upon our purpose. Other times we have to search for it. I was a career counselor for many years. We're all born, I believe, to be faucets of hope, and I'll explain that in a minute, but it takes other people to help us find our gifts, talents, abilities, interests, and experiences, and give us opportunities to make it happen. Had somebody not believed in me and given me an opportunity to do what I do, I wouldn't be here today talking to you guys, and you wouldn't be here. It is God's purpose that you're here, because it is such an encouragement to me. And I thank you all for being here. This is really a blessing. Your experience can make you a faucet of hope. So this is what I think a faucet of hope is. You are uniquely created for the purpose of bringing what only you can change, you can do to change the world. Nobody can do that. Number two, no one else has ever come before you or who will ever come after you that has the skills, talents, abilities, passions, and experiences that you do. You are the only one that can offer another person or organization what they need. I'm serious. So don't buy into somebody who says, oh, you can be replaced. There's always somebody else. I can always hire somebody else. That is not true, because there is not another you. Number three, the world is dying of thirst to experience hope. And you were created to bring it to them through your uniqueness, but you need to be ready, able, and willing. And I thank God you're here today to make that happen. You are here working to be ready, able, and willing to get unstuck from whatever you're stuck in to do what you're meant to be. And I keep using the word hope. What is hope? Hope at the bottom there of the screen is help, opportunity, praise, and encouragement. A lot of people think praise and encouragement is the same, but it isn't. We know what help is. Opportunity is giving you a chance. Praise is good job. You showed up today. You did that thing. You could have procrastinated. You could have stayed stuck and stayed on social media, but you came today. And encouragement is good job. You can do this. That's what we need to do for every person, because here's why. We need studies. When I started counseling 30 years ago, the study showed we needed 8 positives for every negative to balance self-esteem. Now, new study came out, 12 positives for every negative. None of us get 12 positives from anybody in a given day, but we can give it to others. We can up the ante on that. We can post things. We can encourage people. So thank you again for being here and for doing that, because you're giving me hope today and encouragement for just showing up. Number 4, none of us is perfect. And sometimes you need a plumber who can help to hook you up in the right place, repair and polish you so you're ready for service. I like the analogy of the faucet, because if you look at my faucet, which actually is behind me in my office, and I have that running all year long when I've got clients here. If you're dying of thirst and there is a faucet, it doesn't matter if it's rusty. It doesn't matter if it's dirty. It doesn't matter how long it's been there, or if there's sand on it, or when I was growing up on the farm and there was a hose laying in the cow pie, you know what? You rinse it off as best as you could, and then you drank the water because you were dying of thirst. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be you, and you have to be open and ready to let that spirit flow through you. Number 5, because you are so desperately needed, I can't emphasize that enough. You must be willing to invest in becoming the best you can to ensure you're open and available to those who need you. Lives are depending on it, and because of you, they will be able to help others change the world. I can't say enough how important this is, because it could be that little thing, that little word of encouragement, that text or that email or that message that you send somebody, or showing up at a thing like this that gives a person hope. Because I'm telling you, if there was only one of you that would have showed up today, I would have done this anyway. You know what? I would have done it anyway, because I'm going to send it around. And if somebody watches this 20 years from now and gets something out of it, every second I spend letting God use me is worth it, because I believe I'm here for this purpose. So don't give up if you're doing things right now that you don't think are good enough. For those of you, I know I've got one person on the call today, or I think maybe all 3 of you, or however many there is going to be on the call. There's more now than that, but I know that people are getting my emails with my book on it. Speak to me, God, I'm listening. And the person that did all of those, put them all together, is also on this call. And I haven't seen them for a long time. So thank you all for signing up, for helping to make it happen. You've made it happen, and that matters. We inherit stuff that we may or may not be able to change physically, but our attitude about it is fixable. If you look at the pictures on this slide here, we've got a little Down syndrome girl smiling, smelling the flowers. We've got a guy in a wheelchair laughing, and we've got a blind lady with her dog smiling and having fun. Whatever our deal is, whatever our alphabet is, and I'll talk about that in a minute, we have to learn to love it. And we have to learn to work with it, because we aren't going to get rid of it. Fortunately, we do have neuroplasticity. And through our brains, and our bodies may not be normal, we can change many things that we thought we were doomed to just endure and that we're stuck with. We are not stuck. We truly are not stuck. We don't have to be in that muddy rut. Life is challenging. Learn to love an AFGO. When I first heard this, it was somebody at Alcoholics Anonymous. I was at a meeting. I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict, for those of you who might not know that. I've quit using drugs 47 years ago, and alcohol. Sober 10 years, drank 10 years. Now I've been sober as of last week, another 27 years. So thank God. But a lady came to that meeting, and she was an older lady then. This was 27 years ago. That's my age now. But she had just learned, she had a stroke, and her husband had a disease. And she said, well, it's just another AFGO. And I said, what is AFGO? And she said, another flipping growth opportunity. Now, she didn't say flipping, but I like analogies. And so I put a picture of a guy doing a flip here, because what that means is we need a different perspective. I was an athlete too, and loved tumbling and doing flips. And when you are upside down, you have a totally different perspective on the world. So that's what we have to do when we come upon a challenge. We have to look at an AFGO as a positive thing. We are products of our environment. Here's what you need to know. We learn how to function in life by what's modeled to us, by our parents, our loved ones, teachers, friends, and the world around us. Some of it's helpful, others not so much. And that's what we got to be aware of, is the not so much, because hurt people, and healed people heal people. I want you all to be healed people that can heal other people. So whatever your hurts are, let's work on them, get them healed up so you can continue to heal others. So like I was saying, we're born with this blank slate on our brains. The lines you see, there's neural pathways. These are nerves that go through our brains. They're built as we go, and our bodies create neurotransmitters. So as you see in this next screen here, we've got a brain that is being packed with math and with science and with words and things, and these electrical transmitters that come from the food we eat and the things we drink go up into our brains and help us to do all the things that we do in life. It is astounding. That's a whole nother course, but it is amazing. And how do we figure this out? First off, we have to understand that what we eat and drink, do and think, what we eat and drink and do and think feeds our brains, or it doesn't. Let me repeat that. What we eat and drink, do and think feeds our brains or not. So what research shows is that foods affect how neurotransmitters are made in the gut, and how in turn this affects the brain and the mind. See there, it splits them, brain and the mind. Dopamine and serotonin are the two primary neurotransmitters associated with the regulation of food intake. And that was by some researchers. Now, this is really important because now we're going back to the body. Remember, I said there's a mind, body, spirits connection there. This is how the mind and the body connects. All right. So God made us, I believe God made us with a fight, flight, or freeze thing in our brains, in our minds, in our bodies. It's just there. So if something is happening, we're being chased by a bear, there's a car coming and we're standing in the middle of the road, we get this fight, flight, or freeze response that tells us just innately what to do. It's just, jump out of the way or run or don't, whatever it is that, is inside of us, or whatever we have learned. Now, unfortunately, we learn unhealthy ways to avoid being afraid and uncomfortable. Alcohol, drugs, food, shopping, sex, social media, all those addictions I talked about, we learn how to use them to make us feel better, because this dopamine, this is the number one drug that is, all addictions produce dopamine, all of them. And we are on a teeter-totter of trying to balance the pain of whatever we're stuck in to the pleasure of what we're doing to stay stuck. Now, this is really important. Let me say that again. We are stuck in the whatever our pain is, and we are seeking relief from that, which is what we're doing to stay stuck. Because we get positive feedback, we get positive feelings from eating food. Oh, that was so good. Or alcohol, or drugs, or social media. Oh, this is fun. What happens is that when we do those things and we go back and forth to the fight or flight, it puts off this adrenaline rush. Okay, so you're fighting, you're flighting, so the car falls on a loved one, you got the power to go and pick it up and move it. That is fight. That is dopamine that is pushing you to make that happen. We get a dopamine hit when we are doing these other things, like sex. 100 times the norm of dopamine is what we get when we're having sex. 1,000 hits of dopamine do we get, 1,000 times what we actually need to feel good and to stay in that homeostasis when we're doing methamphetamines. So, and then there's a continuum of all different kinds, which is another workshop. But we have to figure out this teeter-totter of how to stay normalized so we can do what we're supposed to do and not be teetering on these things that are keeping us stuck. When we learn to find peace in our Creator's ability to finish what He started, we never have to fear the past, present, or future. And that's what happens a lot of times. We get stuck and then we forget to go to our Creator. We go, oh my gosh, I'm not doing this. And we beat ourselves up because we aren't. We beat ourselves up because we're stuck. Maybe we don't need to beat ourselves up when we're stuck. Maybe we need to just go, okay, I need to make some changes, and then make some changes instead of, oh, poor me, I'm stuck and I'm terrible me. And we go on, and it doesn't help. That just creates more toxicity in the brain. So we can change it all. Okay, we've got all of these things up here in this light bulb, which is our mind. And, we got ideas, emotions, our ego, our perceptions, our unconscious, our cognitive, all of those things that cause our behaviors, but we can change it all. But we're not meant to do it alone. Some people think we can heal ourselves, but we were meant to be social people and inspire others along the way. So whether it's going to a workout with somebody or talking on the phone or doing what I know some of the people on our call today are doing, they are a part of our 3Gs that we do twice a day on my private Facebook page called Speak to Me God, I'm Listening on Facebook. It's a private group, so you're welcome to join. And we do the 3Gs. What are you grateful for? What are you good at? And what are your goals for the day? And I do this because of what I said earlier, that we need 12 positives for every negative. And if we don't do it for ourselves, it doesn't happen. So part of my reason for doing this is so that we who are participating can encourage each other and say, I'm grateful for you, or keep up the good work, or you can do it, or whatever. That little bit helps. Even having people post gives me a boost, because I know people are conscientious of their own progress and their own recovery, and that means something to me. So this is a key thing to do. And if you wrap the 3Gs around throughout the day many, many times, it's going to be a huge blessing, because you wake up in the morning. Most important thing, wake up in the morning and look around you and think about, what are you grateful for? I am really going to try tomorrow. We've had 75, 80 degrees all week long. Tonight, we're getting 10 inches of snow. What? But I'm in Wisconsin, and, if you don't like the weather, just wait. It'll change. But I'm going to really try to wake up and be grateful. And the person that does my snow removal can't tomorrow. So I'm going to be removing all of that snow on top of it. But I'm going to be grateful, because it's going to give me some good exercise that I need before I go have my knee surgery on Tuesday. So that's what we need to do. Shift, change, look at a different perspective. It's just really possible if we do it. So what are you grateful for? Another quick thing, when I started working with homeless, I realized that there were some really crucial things that I probably sure that some of you don't have on your list. Toilet paper was their number one thing they wanted for Christmas. And the second thing was underwear. Give a thought to why those two things would be important when you're homeless living on the street, and put them on your gratitude list. If you can't find anything else, at least there's two things. And maybe some other clothes to go over your underwear. What are you good at? This is important if I'm going to help you to figure out what your purpose is in life and how to get paid to do it. You need to know what you're good at. And if you don't know, ask your friends and your family, because they're going to come up with some stuff that you haven't thought about. And then what are your goals for the day? If you only have one goal, it's okay. One goal. If your only goal is getting out of bed in the morning, get out of bed in the morning. And then Go get something to eat and then build on that. Good for me. I got out of bed today. I'm good at getting out of bed. My goal is to now go have breakfast. And when you go have breakfast, then, oh, I'm so grateful that I followed through with this. I'm so good at following through with getting my breakfast. My goal now is to not go sit on the couch and to do something productive. Just that's how you do it. And every little thing you do, give yourself credit and you will pull yourself out of the pit that you're in and that you're stuck in. Trust me, this works if you work it, but it doesn't if you don't. Well, I want to talk about these 8 steps to learn whatever ails you and what to do about it. Now, this is a workshop that I would like to invite people to, and this is just a nutshell of what's in it. If you go to my website that I just built, that I would really love people to help me evaluate, it is the Purpose-Driven Recovery Academy.com. And you will get an overview, a longer overview of this particular course in a little video. But this was one that one of my other administrators on my Facebook group, Terry, helped me to put together this workshop several years ago. And it has gotten some pretty high reviews. So here's what the 8 steps are. First thing, what's your problem? What are your core challenges that you're having? Is it procrastination? Is it an addiction? Is it your depression, your anxiety? Is it your relationships? What is it? We got to figure out what your problem is first, and then we'll go from there. Number 2, then once we figure out what your challenges are, we have to discover your purpose and your passion and your plans and the pain that hinders your progress. So all of these kind of run together, and we have to kind of knock out each one separately, but then they all go together. So discovering your purpose, your passion, your plans. So there's the 3G goal thing. And then what's the pain that has hindered you from the progress that you're trying to make that led you to come onto this workshop today to try to get unstuck? Number 3, we can't do this alone. Okay, so the spiritual connection, how do you make the spiritual connection? Maybe not doing it alone. For when I went to my first AA meeting, there was a fellow there. And in AA, the first step is admitted we're powerless over our addiction and that our lives are unmanageable. That's kind of the first step you guys are taking today by showing up. The second step is came to believe in a power greater than myself or us, ourselves could restore us to sanity. The whole thing is an us thing. And the third thing is decided to turn your will and your life over to the care of God. 2 different things. Will, okay, I'll do this. And then your life. I'll do it in all of my life, not just this one tiny little piece. I'm going to turn it over everywhere. Now, for him, he was a Vietnam veteran and absolutely hated God. If there was a God, he didn't like him, and I won't tell you what he called him. But he said for the first 5 years that he went to meetings, the people around the table became his higher power. And for those of you, whether you believe in God or not, or whether you're a Christian or not, or whether you're a Buddhist or whatever your belief is, or if you don't have one at all, somebody you look up to, you're here. Tonight, you're probably looking to me to kind of facilitate a higher power kind of thing. That's why I call myself a faucet of hope. I am just the vessel. I believe the Spirit, the higher power, God, through Christ in me, is flowing through me to spew out on you whatever it is you need. And if you hear one thing, just one thing out of this workshop today, then God has done his job and I have done mine by being open to sharing with you what he had to say. Number 4, say what? The bondage of negative self-talk and how to avoid brain toxicity by gratitude, positive mindfulness, getting out of the muddy rut. This is huge. Back to the 3 Gs. See, these all go together. Our negative self-talk will cause literal toxicity in our brain. The more negative we become, the more we actually create a neural pathway that is filled with neurotransmitter yuck stuff, like a rotten potato in a bag of good potatoes. The rotten potato isn't going to make the good potato. I mean, the good potatoes aren't going to make the rotten potato smell better or healthier. So that negative stuff, it literally causes that neural pathway to get a little deeper and a little deeper and a little deeper. And as we age, if you don't use it, you lose it. In the same way, if we don't keep going down that muddy rut, whether it's the social media stuff, the negative mindset, the poor me thing, if we quit, it'll start to close up. If we focus on gratitude and positive mindfulness, we are literally creating a new pathway that is going to be our new mantra. It's going to be our new place that becomes natural. Because that muddy rut, when my dad was driving milk truck in the spring down our long muddy driveway, and he would these huge ruts, and I'd bring my little car, I had no chance of even forging a new path. Those big ruts would suck me right in. And that's what happened. If you've got a lifetime or of negative self-talk or negative other people talk, that muddy rut gets deeper and deeper every single time you tell yourself that. So for me, on a spiritual basis, I kind of believe there's a evil force out there too, along with the godly force. And that devil, I am saying, not today, devil. Not going down that path today. Not going to think about that negative stuff. Not going to eat that piece of cake. Not going to be mean to somebody. Not going to go down that television media junk. Not going to do it. And how do we do it? Where do we get the motivation to do it? Because if we keep doing this 3G thing, if we keep doing this positive self-talk, the neural transmitters are going to be firing. We're going to be getting that dopamine hit. We're going to be pumping ourselves up. If you exercise one time, you're going to feel more like exercising. You're going to feel like if you eat a healthy meal and you feel good and you aren't bloated and you lose some weight, you're more motivated to do the next thing. So motivation comes from what we do. If you don't have any, who do you have that can help you? What are you going to do? When are you going to do it? Where are you going to do it? And how are you going to make it happen? You've got to have a plan to get motivated. And if it means you need a coach to kick you in the butt, or, metaphorically, of course, then that's what we need to do. Number 6, learning to love your alphabet soup. I came up with that because I have so many of these things. Where do you start when you qualify, like I do for AA and NA and Al-Anon and Overeaters Anonymous and PTSD and ADHD? Come on now. We don't need these labels to know that we're screwed up. We really don't. But I'm a therapist and I have to give people labels usually, and I just hate it. But it is, I guess it helps us to relate to others and identify with people. And learning to love that alphabet soup has been what has brought me here. If that 16-year-old girl wouldn't have said, you don't have to living in all this, getting your dopamine hit with alcohol, drugs, sex, and all that other stuff, and being depressed and anxious and wanting to kill myself, you can find a purpose and start serving God and helping others. And here I am. So I thank God that I am have all these alphabet things, because if I didn't, I couldn't do what I do. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have done any of this. I would have killed myself in 1976. So you can do it. Oh, but I can't, you say, but I'm not good enough, but I'm too tired, but I gotta work, but I don't have enough money, but. Well, it's time for a butt-ectomy. Get rid of the excuses once and for all. And I, just saying, have been a professional butt-ectomologist for a number of years. So please sign me up. I'll be happy to work with you to help you remove the butts from the places that are keeping you stuck. We had one of our residents in our sober home. I asked him to write his plan of what he wanted to accomplish. And his first thing, number one thing, I have to laugh on this, was his number one goal: get my head out of my butt. I thought that was great. Of course, he didn't use those words, but I'm not going to use the words he used. But that's where the butt-ectomy kind of works. So if you've got your head in places that it doesn't belong, like social media or negativity, then it's time to get it out of there. So let's get rid of those excuses and then look at progress, not perfection. Acceptance of a lifelong process and how to do that, because we don't get fixed overnight. And just when we think we got it all together, then next thing you know, there's something else comes up, or we went down a muddy rut or a new one. I just finished a book, The Dopamine Nation, and what she says is, don't worry, there is a dopamine hit coming on the internet near you anytime, it's sometime soon. So if you think you got everything handled, something else will come along, and then it's like, oh, now I got to do this. A new drink comes out, a new, some new thing that you've got to try. Oh my goodness. New restaurant opens up and you got to try that new food. My point here is that if you have learned anything helpful from this and you want more of it, I am happy to help you. And I want you to join the Purpose Driven Recovery Academy and take as many courses as you want. Why do I want you to do that? Because my goal, my purpose is to help you do what you're meant to do. Now, I have been trying to sell courses for years. I mean, I'm serious. 8.5 years I've been doing this, trying to sell courses. And you have some coaches on there that sell what you're worth. If you're not charging at least, $1,000 for a course, then nobody will buy it because they don't think you're worth it. And you know what? I've struggled with that. And I finally figured out what to do. Memberships. I just took some courses on Udemy. Oh my gosh, so amazing. I want to be somebody like that. I am polishing my courses. I am nowhere near as qualified as those people yet. I'm qualified. I just don't have the technology together, but I'm getting it together. So my point is, I am going to do this because I know it's going to cost you money. But if you could just quit buying a latte at Starbucks every week or twice a week, you can pay for all the courses I have that I'm putting on there. Seriously, $25 a month to take all the courses that I'm going to have on my thing. Become a member, $25 a month, get you everything on my website. I know that sounds insane, but there's a reason for it. But there's a reason for you to do it, and there's a reason that I'm doing it. I'm doing it because it's what I'm called to do. And I need you to consider the cost of staying stuck alone in the boondocks in a muddy rut with no help. I've done it for years, and I have finally started investing the money to get things off the ground and hiring people to do things. And I want to help you do that. You know, money, I think everybody can come up with $25 a month, not a week, a month. I'm serious. You can call a tow truck, but if they don't have what you need, you're never going to get out of the rut. And if you can find free stuff online that has helped you to get out of the rut, then by all means, go and take advantage of all that other free stuff. I've got tons of free stuff. I have 250 videos that I've done in the last 2.5 years every Saturday morning that you can watch for free. Some of them will be on here with some worksheets, but if you aren't finding what you want, you're not going to get where you need to be. And if I am that person to get you where you need to be, then great. Here's what I'm going to promise to you. If you, just join me, and I'll tell you what, I want to give those of you who are on here tonight, the course, this Getting Unstuck course, the 8-session course, 8-week, however long you want to do it. I want to give that to you for free, just so we can try it out. And so maybe I can get some testimonies and you can say, hey, yeah, this is worth $25 a month to take some of these courses. But my promise to you is that you will get unstuck from whatever rut you're in. But there's my but. If it's not a but, it's an if you do your part. And this is all you have to do. Watch all the videos that I give you, do all the lessons, attend the group chats, which are going to be Sunday nights. Next week, we're going to be chatting. It's not going to be me talking. It's going to be us chatting about what you learned this last week. If just doing the group chats and that isn't enough, hey, I'm still available. You can get extra help if you haven't gotten unstuck. That's going to cost you a little more, but you can join the membership and take other courses that come out. And what I'm doing is I have got people. Val is on here, and I just interviewed Val this last week. Her book just came up. Addiction, Kill, Steal, and Destroy. I probably have that backwards. Steal, Kill, and Destroy, whatever it is. Val, amazing. You got to go watch my YouTube video on that. But she's going to upload one of her courses. I've got lots of people that are uploading courses that you'll be able to take for this $25 membership. So please consider that. Why? Okay. This stuff works. It works. I've got students that have been, Shang, I couldn't believe her. She even put this on Facebook as a testimony that I saved her life and restored her hope. I love that. She put that word down here. Laura was a drunken addict when she started working with me, and now she is a motivational speaker and a substance abuse counselor. She got her license. So exciting. And Margie, she too, when I met her, was after a drunk driving accident, and I dragged her to church with me the next day and said, I'll keep you out of jail, but you're going to church. And Margie now is a TikTok and Instagram weight loss influencer and founder of Parents Helping Parents Where Hands Meet Hearts, that has over 3,000 members on Facebook, just doing amazing work. And I'm so blessed to have had some influence in these ladies' lives, and I would like to continue to do that. Here's some cool testimonials that James Malinchak, who was featured on the hit TV show Secret Millionaire. He's an international best-selling author and the world's leading motivational speaker. Yet want to hire James to come and do a workshop? $40,000. I'm sure $40,000. It's like, wow. And he wrote me a thing. It's great what you're doing. I applaud you and I appreciate you for trying to make a difference. And he was one of my guests on my talk show. You can see him there. And Nick Unsworth is another amazing guy who has really inspired me. And he works with people with abuse, substance abuse too, and says, I'm doing something great that's impacting lives and saving lives. Great work. I love it. And I am so grateful that they have seen the faucet of hope that God has created me to be. So I want you to sign up a free coaching call with me. If you would like, I'd love to talk with you. Besides 30 years of experience as a counselor, I'm a certified cognitive behavioral and neuro-linguistic master practitioner, coach, and I'm just a phone call, video chat, email, or text away from you. So I really would love for you to sign up, and I just want to help you. That's what I want to do. I want to help you. So thank you so much for watching. I'm going to stop the recording now, and then we can chat a little bit here.